sharing with you guys just small things that I'm learning on a daily basis. I learned something today and I want to share with you in case it may be something that would help you in decision making. So, when you are faced with something, like when you're faced with a situation, should I do this? Should I not do this? Especially if it's not a life changing, it's not a life or death situation, right? It's not like, okay, this thing is going to change my life today, or small decisions, like someone tells you to buy something or you want to buy a course. I actually use it to buy a course because I'm someone who is very impulsive when it comes to buying courses, purchasing courses. I'm like a shopaholic only when it comes to learning and development. So I'm that addicted. So I told myself that I'm just gonna I set goals for myself, and I said, okay, you know what? These things I want to buy them. So when I see the one I want to buy, I just write it down. Oh, I want to buy this. Instead of when I see something I want to buy, I just go and buy it. So I decided to do that. But of course, there are situations where I feel like, you know what, maybe I should do this. This is not compulsion anymore. This is just something I should get. So instead of, battling, having that battle in my head, like, okay, maybe if I end up doing it, then I start feeling guilty. I thought you said you're not going to buy this anymore. I thought you said you're not going to do this anymore. So I decided to use this rule, and that's the rule I want to teach you. So when you're in a situation where you're in a dilemma, you don't know whether, oh, should I do this? Should I not do this? Just do the raffle technique. That's what I call it, the raffle technique. Okay. You can do this online raffle. There is the online wheel of names. Just type some things and then click the raffle. What that does is that it removes the resistance from you. So I did it and I typed, go get the course. I said, do not get the course. And then the third one was wait now, like wait on it now, get it later, something like that. And then I did the raffle. And then guess what? I got my answer, right? I got my answer. And the answer I got was actually wait on it now. Like, don't get it now, get it later, right? So, do you know what that did for me? It removed the resistance. So there was no guilty conscience. There was no, oh, I wish I could have done it. Oh, I still want to do it. No, it's gone. Like literally, it's gone. Like I just felt this peace. So try it. That is something I have learned. And I want you to try it. So if someone tells you something, maybe they give you an opportunity or they want to sell something to you or they want to give you an offer or something, and you know that it's not like if I don't do this, I'm not going to die. If I don't do this, I will not go to hellfire. Things like that. You just know that it's something I want, but I just have that dilemma in my head. Should I take it? Should I not take it? Just do that raffle. Trust me. And when you do it, whatever it says, if it says go for it, then go for it. You know that, okay, the universe has just told me to go for this thing. And then if it says no, don't go for it, then your mind is at peace. And you're like, you know what? I'm not doing. So you say it with your full chest. It also helps you. It stops you from saying all this, I'll think about it, I'll get back to you. You are not helping that person. Okay. Be a nice person. Even if you don't want to buy stuff, say yes, say no. Don't say, I will think about it, I'll get back to you. Even the Lord said, let your communication be yay or nay. Okay, so try this and type in the comments if it helps you in your decision making going forward. All right, I just tried it today and I really feel good about it, and it's something I'm going to be doing a lot more of. So if I'm in that situation, I don't want to be overthinking. See, your brain should be for strategic reasons. Your brain should be for more permanent things, things that are like very, they're going to add value to you, that are like life or death, not for small things like purchasing decision and things like that. So when it comes to those small stuff, just find a way to take it out of your hands, hand it over to the universe. Yes, delegate it to the universe. And how do you delegate it? The raffle technique. Okay, so if you found this useful and you try it and you feel as good as I feel after trying it, type it in the comments. Okay. So today I said we're going to talk about three things. All right. We're going to talk about three things that are inevitable, but they are hardly ever planned for. Okay. And if you are catching me for the first time, my name is Lady Teresa, aka the Mom's Advisor, aka the Diaspora Mom, aka the Boss Mom, aka the sales goddess. Okay, yes, I wear so many hats, but today am actually, this conversation is first and foremost to the African moms in Canada. Okay, because I have made it my mission. I'm actually on a mission to help moms in Canada to make better financial decisions, to plan for their retirement better, and to also secure the education of their children. Okay. And today, like I said, we're going to be talking about these three things that are inevitable, but they are hardly ever planned for. Okay. Some of them, some of them may come as something new to you, but let me know in the comment section what you think about it, if this is correct or not. Okay, so the first thing that is inevitable but people hardly plan for is marriage. Okay, when I say inevitable, I'm talking about from the moment someone proposes to you or you propose to someone, right? So I'm not saying that everybody must get married. So from the moment you have been proposed to, or from the moment you propose to someone, marriage technically is inevitable. It is in the works. Okay? But have you noticed that people do not plan for marriage? People plan for wedding. So from the moment that you have been proposed to or they propose to you, you start thinking of a wedding planner. Think about it. You start thinking of a wedding planner, but nobody actually thinks of a marriage planner. Okay, we don't people do not plan for marriage. In fact, the most people do when it comes to marriage planning is just going for that marriage class of how long. So you plan your career by going to school, spending how many years to get education, right? But you plan for your marriage for by doing what, going for marriage class of maybe 6 weeks. Some even do the facilitated one. They say, oh, we don't have time, we're getting married very soon. So you do the marriage for, hello, thank you so much for joining me. So you do the marriage class for like maybe 3 weeks or 6 weeks, and you're like, you know what, let's fast track it, right? So marriage is one thing that people know that this is inevitable. You are getting married, right? But nobody plans for it. Instead, we are planning for a wedding. And that is why you see a lot of marriages crashing, because nobody actually plans for marriage. Nobody sits, well, let me not say nobody, few people, only a very few people actually sit down and plan their marriage and say, this is how I want this marriage to be. This is how our finances would be. This is how the children will be raised. This is how our future would be. This is how the next 5 years would be. The next 10 years would be. The next 20 years would be. This is how we are going to retire. These are the things we are going to do. And then you come to that agreement. This is how we're going. This is how the love life is going to be. This is how the sex life is going to be. This is how the dating life is going to be in this marriage. We do not plan for them, unfortunately. All right. So that is one inevitable thing that is not planned for. As usual, if you are catching me live, do me a favor. Like I always say, when you see someone who is live, who is talking on a live stream, just do a favor, click that like button, click that comment button, click that share button. Let the person know that they're not alone. Because if you don't do that, we will feel like we're just talking to ourselves. All right. We are actually talking to ourselves. I'm just talking to my reflection, right? So just do that. Let that be your own way of giving back. Let that be your own philanthropic act. Okay, it's almost the end of the year. What philanthropic act have you taken this year? Think about it. Okay, so that is number one. The first thing that is inevitable but hardly ever planned for, and that is marriage. Okay, so I'm hoping that if you watch this, you decide today to be the exception. All right, you decide today to be the exception, that from the moment you have been proposed to, even before being proposed to, you should have a plan for your marriage. And once in that process of engagement, courtship, whatever you are doing, whatever is your process to getting married, you are having that discussion, you are having that conversation, you are planning the marriage and not just planning the wedding. Okay. The second thing that is inevitable, but that is ever hardly ever planned for, is parenting. Is parenting. Okay. Parenting, like I always say, the marriage one I said from the moment you are proposed to or the moment you propose to someone. Now, parenting is from the moment you even got married, or but let's leave that. Let's not talk about from the moment you got married. From the moment you as a woman, as a mother, from the moment you got pregnant, so you see again in when it comes to marriage, people plan wedding, right? When they propose to you, when you propose to someone, the next thing you are planning a wedding. Now, when a woman gets pregnant, the next thing they are planning is what? Delivery. They are planning that period where she gives birth. So they're just buying baby things, baby food, baby clothes, baby this. You're not planning the parenting of that child. You're not putting things down for, okay, you know what? This person is going to need me for the next 15 to 18 years of their life. This soul, this human being that I'm bringing into this world is not just going to, and why am I planning only for the next 9 months? We just go, we buy these baby items, baby clothes, baby this, baby that, and that is what we call preparing for, that birth. We forget that this person is going to need us, is going to be dependent on us for the next 15 to 18 years. I said 15 to 18 years because right now in this part of the world, children are becoming so independent at 15. When they start working, they even leave the house, things like that. So I would say 15 to 18 years. Some children may even need you longer than that. They may be dependent on you longer than that. But the plans, the things you do right now would determine how that 18 years would be for them. So that is the second one I noticed, that we know. See, from the moment you are pregnant, you know that a child is coming. It's like saying you're preparing for a guest. Think about it. When you have a guest coming to your house, guess what? We prepare better for a guest than even for our child that is coming. So a guest is coming, you prepare the guest room. You know what that guest is going to eat for the period, for all the period the guest will be with you. You're not going to just prepare for the day they come in, have their bath, eat, sleep. That's not the end. You are preparing for their welfare, for their well-being, for the period that they are your guests. So think about it that way as well when you have children, because there are mothers that I have conversations with, and right now maybe their children are still babies. They are still maybe 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and then we have these conversations, and there is no plan for the next 18 years of this child. There's no plan. You're just living it one day at a time, one day at a time. But every other aspect of our lives, how come we plan it so well? You need to see someone looking for a job. We are so prepared. We plan everything. When it comes to our career, we plan everything. But you see these three things: marriage, parenting, that is when we're not living it one day at a time. You ask someone, you know what? Put this thing aside every month. Put it aside for the next 18 years for your child. And you start hearing, I don't have money. How? And then when the time comes, you are forced to take loans to take this child to school, or the child is now forced to take student loans. Do you know why we take student loans? The reason student loans came about is just because there was lack of proper planning, because the parents did not plan. And so 15 years down the line, 18 years down the line, this person does not have any money to go to school, and then they start taking loans. So that's the second thing. Parenting is inevitable. When you have children, it's inevitable. They are going to grow. They will go to school. What plans are you making right now to secure their education? What plans are you making right now to make them better versions, to bring them up in the way that they should, in the way that they are destined to be? A lot of people, their destiny has crashed just because of lack of proper planning on the part of their parents. So if you truly love your children, please plan for the period they are dependent on you. Do not put unnecessary pressure on them because of your lack of planning. All right. The third thing, which is the last one for today, the third thing that is inevitable but is never ever, in fact, hardly ever, only a few percent. In fact, I said it that in Canada, there's a research that says only one out of five people living in this Canada that are actually planning for this. All right. And that thing is death. That thing is death. If there's anything that is inevitable in this life, like whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whether you are tall, whether you are short, whether you are white, whether you are black, whether you are yellow, whether you are brown, whatever you are, whoever you are, wherever you are, one thing is inevitable amongst all of us, and that is death. That is death. It is inevitable. Now, let me tell you something that actually should give us some kind of, the fact that it is inevitable, the fact that we know that it is inevitable is what should actually, we should never hear of, oh, premature death, oh, died prematurely. You know why? You know why we say something is premature? It is because we do not have that recognition that death is inevitable and that it can happen at any time. And so we are not planning for it. And because we are not planning for it, when it now happens, we call it inevitable. We only call it inevitable because we did not plan for it. How do you plan for death? First of all, by being aware that it is inevitable. Then, secondly, by planning ahead, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to leave behind? Do you want to leave behind a lot of pressure? Do you want to leave behind a lot of stress? Do you want to leave behind a lot of crying? Or do you want to leave behind some sort of consolation? Do you want to leave behind a legacy? Do you want something do you want your name to actually continue after you are gone? How often do you actually think about death? How often? We don't. We're not planning for it because we just believe is happening to those people. It's not going to come to me. Well, nobody says it's even going to come to you. But the fact is, why not just plan? Because from the moment you are born, from the moment they give birth to you, death is inevitable. Death. You may die and rise again, but death is inevitable. From the moment they give birth to you, death is inevitable. Unfortunately, we don't plan for it. So those are the three things that I just wanted to share with you. And it's more like a reflection. I want you to think about it. How well are you planning? How well are you planning for marriage? How well are you planning for your parenting? And how well are you planning your death? I know it sounds wookie, but guess what? People are dying these days. Like people that we don't even expect should die are dying. Things are happening. Okay. So don't, one of the things you should plan for should be living the world better than you met it. All right. Living the world better than you met it. Don't live with unnecessary pressure on those that you're leaving behind. Don't live with unnecessary stress. Don't live with a lot of grieving for years. Make it a little bit easy on those you're leaving behind. Make it a little bit easy for them. Think of legacy. Think of legacy. Okay? So thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those that watched till this moment, because I said watch till the end, and here's some big announcements. So I have a get together or a meet and greet for moms who are actually living in Edmonton. So if you're a mom who live in Edmonton, or you know anyone who lives in Edmonton, you can send me a message for the invite. It's gonna be fun. There's gonna be, connecting, networking, in fact, enjoyment, eating, food, games, fun. So send me a message or send this link to someone who you know lives in Edmonton, Canada, and let them reach out. So we're having some fun get together. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna meet new people. This country is not a place where you stay alone, right? You need people. You need to listen to people. You need to hear from people. You need people that can guide you. You need people who have been here before you, or people that are even here before, right? We need that sort of get together and gathering. All right. So if that interests you, send me a DM or share this link with anyone who you know and let them reach out. Okay. Um, Depression is real, right? And that usually happens when you think you are alone, when you think you're going through a lot of the things you're going through alone. All right. So don't be that person. Reach out today. Okay. Cheers and have a good day. And catch me on Thursday on my other page and let's talk business and let's talk how to make money. Okay. Cheers.